this video, we will be learning how to multiply decimals with regrouping. On the earlier video, we learned how to multiply decimals without regrouping. And just like in the first video, on the earlier video, I will be showing you how to multiply using the place value list app and by repetitive addition, as well as the regular multiplication that we are used to. So for this one, we will be answering two equations, but I would be showing you the first equation first because I might need a lot of space for this one. So first equation is 4 times 3/10. 4 times 3/10 is just simply 4 groups of 3/10. Now we will be showing 3/10, 4 groups of that. So this is the first group, that's 3/10. Second group, third group, and fourth group. Now that we have the 4 groups of 3/10, we can just simply count the number of tenths that we have altogether. And there are 3, 6, 9, 12 tenths altogether. Okay, so 12 tenths. Now that we have the 12 tenths, okay, we think first. Since this is more than 10, okay, can we actually form anything from here, or can we regroup it? Let's find out. From our previous knowledge of decimals, we can actually form one whole from those 10 tenths. So the 10 tenths plus 2 tenths. So the 10 tenths actually formed one whole and 2 tenths. So that would be 1 and 2 tenths. So that's our answer, 1 and 2 tenths. Okay. Another way to solve this is using repetitive addition. So I'll be using blue for that one. For repetitive addition, it would just be 3/10 plus 3/10 plus another 3/10. And that would give us, plus another 3/10 because I need 4 groups of that. Plus 3/10. And that would give us 3, 6, 9, 12 tenths. So 2 will go here, regroup one whole, and one whole and 2 tenths is our final answer. And lastly, we do the regular multiplication. For this one, I'll be using red. For the regular multiplication, you may solve it using this way, 4 times 3/10, or you can also solve it using this orientation, 3/10 times 4. Either way, you will get the same answer. But most people are used to this orientation, okay, and that's okay. So let's try to solve it that way. Let's have 3/10 times 4, 3/10 times 4. So 3/10 times 4. Once again, you are multiplying tenths. 3/10 times 4. So if you will put it in words, 3/10 times 4, you are expected to have an answer which is also in the tenths place. So that would be 12 tenths. Okay, so 12 tenths, once again, is equal to this one. So that would mean the answer here would still be 1 and 2 tenths. Okay, now that's it for the first example. Let me just clear this out so I can show you our next equation. Okay. Now for our next equation, we will be solving 3 times 1 and 25 hundredths. How are you going to solve this? Let's show first how to do it using the place value disk app. This is by showing 3 groups of 1 and 25 hundredths. So 1 whole, 2 tenths, and 5 hundredths. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's one group. We need 3 groups of this. So I can just duplicate this so it's easier. And there you go. So we now have 3 groups of 1 and 25 hundredths right here. Let's try to count first. Okay, starting with the hundredths place. So in the hundredths place, we have 5, 10, 15 hundredths. Okay, from our knowledge of decimals, 15 hundredths can actually form what? It can form a tenth, right? Because 15 hundredths is equal to 10 hundredths rather. 10 hundredths plus 5 hundredths. I'm sorry, I don't know why this pencil is not working properly. This is not my regular handwriting. I don't know what's happening. So I will just drag this and let's see how many tenth we can form. We're able to form 1/10 from the 10 hundredths. So that would now be equal to 1/10 plus 5 hundredths. There you go. So that's it. Now we move to the tenths place. So for the tenth, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 tenths altogether because our earlier hundredth became a tenth. So that's it. We have 7 hundredths. And then, 7 tenths. And lastly, our whole number, which is just 3 wholes. So this one would be 3 wholes, 7 tenths, and 5 hundredths. That would be your answer. 3 and 75 hundredths. Now that we are able to show it using the place value disk, we will now show it using repetitive addition. I'll be using blue for repetitive addition right here. That would be 1 and 25 hundredths plus 1 and 25 hundredths plus 1 and 25 hundredths. Just like in the earlier video about addition of decimals, don't forget to align your decimal, your place values. So we start adding from the hundredths place, the smallest place value. That will be 5 plus 5 plus 5 hundredths, 15 hundredths. So 5 hundredth will go here, and the 10 hundredth will become 1/10. It will go over there. So that's 2 tenths plus 2 tenths plus 2 tenths plus 1/10 will give you 7 tenths. And lastly, 1 plus 1 plus 1 will be 3. And of course, the last one would be multiplication using the regular multiplication. Again, you can do it this way. 3 times 1 and 25 hundredths. Or do it this way for it to be easier, because you will get confused. You will get confused when you are already regrouping using this way. Okay? I personally am confused when I use that. So we will just be using this. So it's easier. So 5 hundredths times 3, we are multiplying hundredth. So therefore, our answer should go in the hundredths place. So let me just put here some guide for you not to get confused. So 5 hundredths times 3. Answer is 15 hundredths. So 5 should go to the hundredths place. This is the hundredths place. Then, afterwards, the 1/10 should be here for your regrouping. And then, afterwards, that will be 2/10 times 3. Okay? Remember, we are multiplying tenths. 2/10 times 3 is 6/10. But, don't forget that we have 1 as regrouping here. Okay? We regrouped 1 right there. So, that should be 2/10 times 3 is 6/10 plus 1/10 right there is 7/10. And lastly, 1 whole times 3 is equal to 3. Okay, so 1 whole or 1 ones. So the 3 should go to the ones place. Okay, so things to remember when you are multiplying. Don't forget to put the digit to the correct place value. Okay, and make sure to always be careful with your skip counting, and don't forget to check if your answer is reasonable.